guys? Your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ. Fire content only. Here today to bring you the fantasy football picks and bets presented by PrizePicks. Make sure you guys download the app today. Sign up using promo code MMN. And you guys are set up for success because they're matching up to $100. You put in 50, you get 50. You put in 100, you get 100. They're matching up to $100. It's free money. It's not too late. Hit that link in the bio. MMN is the promo code you use to sign up. So today we got PrizePicks and some DraftKings slates that we're going to be going over. And I feel as though this team that I'm building for the DraftKings, it might hit. But this Monday night football game is going to be electric, people. It's not going to be like a crazy shootout because you got a good defense in Buffalo and you got a great defense, in New England. And I feel as though it's really Josh Allen versus Bill Belichick in this matchup. So it's going to be intense. It's a division game. So let's get into some of these PrizePicks. So let's jump into these PrizePicks. You got Josh Allen versus Mac Jones on the over-under for the passing yards. Now we have 200 and a hook for Mac Jones. Seems a little low, but again, they're facing Buffalo. I don't know if this is going to be a full send on Mac Jones hitting the over here for 200 and a hook. And I don't know if I can put the under on here. So this might be a complete fade to me where I'm not even going to put money on this. I'm not going to put this on my ticket. I do like Josh Allen, though, when it comes to 229 and a hook for the passing yards for Josh Allen. I feel as though this could be achievable, even though he's going up against Bill Belichick. Like I said before, this is a Bill Belichick versus Josh Allen game. And I know Bill Belichick always schemes to take out their best player, which is Stephon Diggs. But you might get some Dawson Knox involved into this game to where he could find the middle of the field and get a nice chunk of yards. That's the only reason why I'm leaning for the over here for Josh Allen, even though if we look at the trends, when it comes to Josh Allen home versus New England, he doesn't really have the best of games. I mean, if we look at 2020 and 2019, his stats were absolutely dreadful, going against New England at home, and they're home tomorrow. So I don't know if I can put that 100% as in following the trend, but I have that in the back of my head. But I definitely feel as though times have changed. The weapons are there. He has Stephon Diggs. The chemistry is built and is landing. I'm just going to just ride the wheel here with, Josh Allen for the over here for 229 and a hook. Now let's jump into the rushing yards. Both of these are yucky, man. It's basically Damian Harris for 45 and a hook, and then you have Devin Singletary for 34 and a hook. Man, this is rough. I definitely feel as though I can hit the under here for a Devin Singletary. It's not like, in fantasy, any of the running backs in Buffalo are startable, but I'm going to hit the under here based on I feel as though this isn't going to be a run first game. This is definitely going to be a game they're going to try to attack through the air and be able to move the ball because it's definitely, like I said before, I'm going to keep saying it, Josh Allen versus Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is definitely going to try to stop Stephon Diggs, but I feel as though, Josh Allen can get the job done on the ground as well. He's going to be able to run the ball. He's going to be able to get outside the pocket and extend the plays. This isn't going to be a Devin Singletary game. So I can hit the under here for, Devin Singletary for 34 and a hook. Now, Damian Harris for the 45 and a hook. I can definitely hit the over here. I think Damian Harris is going to be, heavily involved again. I definitely think him and Stevenson can actually coexist. So I can see him actually hitting the over here for 45 and a hook with Stevenson even being there as well and Bolden getting involved in the passing game as well. I just feel as though they have something coming into rhythm where Damian Harris can definitely hit the over here for the 45 and a hook. Now, let's move over to the quarterbacks for the rushing yards. Now, they have Mac Jones for 3.5. I really don't like it. But like I was referring before with Josh Allen for 31 and a hook for the rushing yards for quarterbacks, I feel as though he can get this done more so than a Devin Singletary getting it for the 34 and a hook. Give me Josh Allen 100% with a 31 and a hook for the rushing yards. That's somebody I'm going to be stacking, with a Josh Allen completion, Josh Allen rushing, Josh Allen, passing yards if we're going to go ahead and full send Josh Allen. I feel as though, Josh Allen's going to be the focal point of this offense, running, passing, etc. So a lot of these tickets, a lot of these, over-unders for him, I can pretty much see myself putting one or two on the same ticket. So moving on to the receptions, I really feel as though receiving yards. There's a lot on here where you see a Dawson Knox for a 28 and a hook. That looks exciting. I definitely feel as though he's going to have to step up in this game as well if Bill Belichick's going to try to take out Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is at a 57 and a hook, which isn't too bad. But I'm more looking at where it looks a lot more interesting here is with a Jacoby Myers 39 and a hook. Now, Jacoby Myers is one of those guys where he doesn't have like that huge A dot. He's not making the big plays downfield. He has Mac Jones has Nelson Aguilar for that to stretch the field, and Kendrick Bourd's actually getting into some rhythm as well. So his receiving yards are 30.5, which is 30 in the hook receiving yards. So I like Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne here for the receiving yards. So I'm going to hit the over on both of these guys. And Dawson Knox also hit the over for the 28 in the hook. So let's move on to the quarterback passing touchdowns. Right now, PrizePicks only has Josh Allen for 1.5 passing touchdowns. Obviously, I'm going to hit the over on this one as well. I feel as though they're going to be moving the ball downfield. Not that New England's a bad defense. It's just that it's going to be a very intense game. It's going to be one of those games where, Josh Allen's going to have to come back from behind, or he's going to have to fend them off, to where I definitely see them being pass heavy in this offense. So I'm definitely going to hit the over here with Josh Allen. If you haven't followed the trend throughout this video, I'm a big Josh Allen fan, and I'm liking some of these prize picks, and hopefully we make some money this weekend. So let's move on to the catches as well. Jacoby Myers with 4 receptions. I mean, there's only one game this season where Jacoby Myers had less than 4 catches, so that's definitely a smash here. That's free money basically for Jacoby Myers for 4 points. Like I mentioned before, Kendrick Bourne, he's also another guy on the Patriots that I like, with only 3 receptions that he has to hit. So I'm going to hit the over here. Now, I do want to jump on the other side of the ball for Buffalo. I do like Dawson Knox for 3 receptions. I definitely hit the over on this as well. And Cole Beasley as well. Like I said before, Belichick's going to focus on Stephon Diggs. Either Dawson Knox or Cole Beasley are going to be the 1 and 2. They're going to have to step up. So basically 3 catches between them. I'm definitely going to hit the over. I could see Cole Beasley easily having 5 catches. I could see Dawson Knox easily having 5 catches. So over for those 2 as well. So there's some really good picks here for the catches and receptions. I definitely feel as though you jump on some of these. Like Emmanuel Sanders, I'm not too sure about. He's a little flaky. Hunter Henry, he's not one of those guys that, I feel as though has the volume yet. Jonnu Smith is also back, so he's splitting there as well. Most of Hunter Henry's, receptions and targets are coming from the red zone. So it's not really, banking on a huge volume game out of that tight end position. So moving on. So here is one of my favorite over-unders from PrizePicks. It's a completion. So Mac Jones, 19 passing completions, and then Josh Allen for 20 passing completions. Now, I like both of them. I mean, I honestly can hit the over for both of them. Like I said, it's going to be an intense game, but I'm not. I'm going to hit the over for Josh Allen and hit the under for Mac Jones. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to get this done on the ground. But again, it's a tough defense. I mean, both these defenses are playing amazing against quarterbacks. I mean, if we look at Buffalo, they're first allowing the fewest fantasy points per game to quarterbacks, which is 10.5. And then right next, sitting there at the second spot, it's the New England Patriots, only allowing 12 fantasy points per game. So quarterbacks don't really eat on these defenses, but being that it's a division game, you got to take that out of accountability. I mean, it's a whole nother beast when you're in the division and it's Monday Night Football. It's a whole different vibe. So I definitely want to take an account of that. So under on the Mac Jones, over on the Josh Allen for the completions. Let's jump into some fantasy points. I love that PrizePicks allows you gets the over under on the fantasy points, because you could play around with some of these stacks. You could do fantasy points for, let's say Stephon Diggs, a Josh Allen completion, Josh Allen touchdown, and the rushing. That's like a sweet ticket right there. So I might do that for myself. But we got Mac Jones for 13 fantasy points. I'm definitely hitting the over here. I definitely feel as though he can get in and easily get these completions, get the yardage, and a possible touchdown. You're already looking at over 13 to 14 points. Another interesting one here that I feel as though it's a little high, but I'm going to full send it. It's Jacoby Myers at 8.5. He's definitely one of those guys that, he's not going to get the touchdowns, but he's going to get the catches. So I feel as though he can easily get these catches that we said before, over 4. He's only one game where he had less than 4 catches, but he may sneak in for a touchdown now. Let's hope and fingers crossed for a touchdown. So I like the over on Mac Jones and I like the over on Jacoby Myers. But on the other side of the ball for Buffalo, you got to give me Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley is going to be that guy that has to step up if Stephon Diggs is out of the picture, thanks to Bill Belichick. So 9.5, I'm banking on a touchdown here. It's a huge gamble, but I'm definitely feeling as though he can get the over here on the 9.5. We have some more players. Dawson Knox is attractive for 8 fantasy points for the over-under. I'm going to hit the over there as well. Kendrick Bourne, he's finding himself in the rhythm 3 games in a row, finding the end zone. As an easy smash here for Kendrick Bourne for 8 fantasy points to hit the over here. The rest of these guys, I'm not feeling too much. It's a gamble. Like Gabriel Davis is one of the guys that I was big on coming into the off season, but yeah, he didn't pan out. So 3.5, that's like, hanging fruit here. That's like really, really low, but he's liable to catch one ball that's like a 79-yard touchdown and then boom, hits the over on that. So if you're feeling risky, if you want to gamble on that, you can go ahead, being that the fantasy points are so low for Gabriel Davis, but he's been non-existent. Singletary here at 8 points. Like I said, it's not worth starting any type of Buffalo running back. They'll burn you in fantasy and in gambling. So I'm staying away from Buffalo's running backs. But yeah. So let's jump into some DraftKings lineup. You definitely got to build your lineup around Josh Allen. He's going to be my captain this week. I definitely feel as though he's going to be the best player on the field, who's going to be giving you the most fantasy points. He's going to find the end zone if it's from throwing the ball, running the ball, and then he's going to be able to run out the pocket, get those rushing yards. So it just makes sense to get the mobile quarterback in your captain spot this week. So let's move on to the flex positions. So I obviously have to have Cole Beasley. I mentioned before, Bill Belichick is going to try his hardest to basically take Stephon Diggs out of the game. So you got to look at that number 2. So Cole Beasley or Dawson Knox are going to be the number 2 there to have to step up and get those receptions. But I'm banking on Cole Beasley being that guy stepping up, finding the end zone, and definitely getting all the PPR value that we need out of him. I mean, Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers out there. So I definitely feel as though Bill Belichick is going to put all his focus on Stephon Diggs. So just give me a Cole Beasley who's going to be eating up all the unders, eating up possibly, all of the touchdowns as well if Stephon Diggs is completely exited out. It's either Cole Beasley or it's going to be Dawson Knox. So that's honestly why I have to have myself a Cole Beasley. So moving on, the next guy that I have in my flex spot, I definitely feel as though Kendrick Bourne needs to be in the lineup. He's finding the end zone 3 weeks in a row. He's been electric. I definitely feel as though last week was just a flash of his true talent, getting the job done on the under, getting the job done, stretching the field and just making big plays and stepping up in that offense. He's obviously the number 1, wide receiver in that offense. Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers, they're supporting cast. They do their job. They're a good, supporting cast where, Kendrick Bourne can find his way to make the big plays. So he's definitely going to be in my flex spot, when it comes to Monday Night Football. Moving on, as ugly as it sounds, I've said it before, you can't really start a Buffalo running back, but if I have to, based on the money, based on what's left in the salary cap, I have to put Matt Breida there. I definitely feel as though he's the red zone back. He's explosive. He has the speed. I definitely feel as though Singletary, he doesn't really have that much of a juice, a wiggle as Matt Breida, but it's crazy 2021. We're talking about Matt Breida on the Buffalo Bills and having him in fantasy lineups as well. So I definitely feel as though this will be, one of the gamble plays here, but he's a value at his price, which is only at, 6.6. So I feel as though being at 6,600, you got to have a Buffalo running back in there if they're going to be in the red zone and making a lot of appearances there, because they're going to want to run the ball some way, somehow. So moving on, I got to have the kicker, Nick Folk. So I explained before, this defense, Buffalo defense is nothing I'm playing with, and it's a division game. So I'd rather have, Patriots kicker, the number 1 kicker, basically in fantasy right now, be able to take the 50-yarder or take the 40-yarder, because if they're struggling, they're going to want to put points on the board. Knowing Bill Belichick, if he has a kicker that can make the kick, he's going to kick it. He's definitely one of those guys, I need points on the board at all costs. So if they're going to be struggling moving the ball downfield because, basically Buffalo's locking them up, and hey, I think Nick Folk's going to be absolutely a gem on your DraftKings rosters this week. Moving on, last but not least, Hunter Henry is a red zone junkie. He's a red zone target, and he's going to be finding the end zone if they're able to get down there. So this is another gamble, but being the value at $5,200, why not? You got to throw in Hunter Henry if he's going to be basically that number 1 red zone target. I feel as though him and Kendrick Bourne, they're a little tight here and here, but when it comes to the red zone, you always see Mac Jones staring down Hunter Henry. So if they're going to be able to get down to that goal line, you got to give me a guy he's going to be comfortable with, and that's Hunter Henry, man. So that is your lineup. You got Josh Allen, Cole Beasley, Kendrick Bourne. You got Matt Breida, Nick Folk, and Hunter Henry. Hopefully I hit on this because I need some money this week, and I definitely want to be held accountable. So if this lineup works out for you, please come back to the channel, comment what you think about it. Are you thankful? Or if I messed up, just hold me accountable, man. I always want to be accountable for my picks, and I always want to win you guys money. So that wraps up this episode, and make sure you guys like and subscribe, and please hit the link in the bio, prizepicks.com. Sign up today using promo code MMN. You guys will be set up for success, man. They're matching up to $100. It's free money. It's not too late. Go do it now. And I'll see you guys next week for another great episode. Peace.